What's up, guys? Mike here from Ekim Knives, and today I want to do a little review on the GO738. I know. You're asking yourself, what? What is that? That's, a lot of you guys asked me what this green thing is right here. That's a hanging air filter for the shop. We have some stuff that floats around like carbon fiber and G10, and it's got to be better than nothing. But instead of just guessing that it's better than nothing, we're going to find out. It's super hot and humid in the knife shop today. Woo! One of the drawbacks of insulating the shop, I'm finding out the hard way, it's like 100 degrees in here. So, okay, so I've devised a test, and I decided to do this video today because I was working on this guy right here. Quick little flyby. That's Ambonia burl? I don't know, some really nice wood. Also, I know it's really nice wood. And the dust is literally everywhere, even with the filter. So I wanted to know, is it really doing as much as I hoped it would? So we're going to test it right now. And for you guys that want to know the specs, the pricing and everything, I got this one on sale for, I believe it was like $139 or so. I'll pop in a picture here, so it'll give you the listing, and I'll put a link down below where you can find one of these. This is the smaller size. My shop is only 12 foot by 12 foot. So the small one seemed to be the right size for me. Alright guys, enough with all the boring stuff. Let's get on to the test. So here's my idea. I have a piece of carbon fiber. Okay, these are some handle scales I made that I screwed up. So let's put them to good use and just grind them away. So carbon fiber, I figure I'm going to grind from the tip to the line, and as you can see, this one says filter on it, so this will be with the filter running. And this one, identical scale, identical amount of carbon fiber, and this one will be no filter. I'll grind that down. Now, in order to see how much dust actually gets airborne, I've taken some white paper, and as you can see, it says GO738, that's the model, and filter 1, 2, and 3. So I'll put it in 3 different places of the shop, the white paper, so you'll clearly see how much carbon fiber dust settles and lands on this in 3 different areas of the shop. And we'll run the test again with no filter at all for a control. Give you a quick little flyby of it. One thing I noticed right away from testing it for a little while is that filter was white about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So do yourself a favor and buy some extra filters. Wow, I am melting. Woo! Go over some of the specs. It does come with a little remote, and it has 3 speeds, high, medium, and low. It has a timer for an hour, 2 hours, and 4 hours, so you could do timed intervals if you like. And an off button, and it actually works pretty good, this remote. Here's the plan. We got the one scale that's going to be no filter, the carbon fiber, 120 grit belt on my 12-inch wheel. We're going to set the grinder to whatever speed that is. We're going to leave it right there, not change the speed, not change anything that we can to keep the variables kind of at bay. So the placement for the paper, we got no filter number 1 right here on top of my Kydex press. So pretty close to the grinder. And the instructions for this thing say is put it as close as possible to the dust source and kind of angle it so the air flows around the room in a circle like that. Sorry to spin you around so fast. Okay, over here we have no filter number 2. This is where I sit, where I do my assembly stuff. That's the radio that was kind of on the fritz. It hasn't been doing it lately, but so that's no filter number 2, and over here in the other corner, no filter number 3. Now, to keep the time variable, I have my phone set for 10 minutes. So I'll set the timer, I'll leave the shop, let the dust settle for 10 minutes, come back in, and we'll check the results. Just because you get a filter doesn't mean you get to skip one of these. Pellets to the line. No filter. Grab the phone. $10. Alright guys, that's 10 minutes. Let's go see what we got here. Now we ground off about an inch, I want to say. An inch of that scale, which I threw over here somewhere, but I showed it to you guys. I got this one lined up. That's the next one, the one with the filter. Okay, so template number 1. Let's zoom in real close. Yeah, that's pretty dirty. No filter, and that's, I want to say, about 3 or 4 feet away. Okay, so you can imagine if you didn't have a respirator on, all that would be in your lungs. Probably more than that, because as you can see over here at ground zero, if you will, this is from the ammonia burl, and there's the carbon fiber. Okay, no filter template number 2. It looks pretty clear, but if you get up real close, hopefully that shows up for you guys. You see the black speckling? It floated all the way over here in the 10 minutes and just 1 inch of carbon fiber. So you can imagine after you've made a few knives, all that speckling that you see here will accumulate. See it there? That will all accumulate and it will get everywhere. Hopefully, which we don't know yet, hopefully that filter will stop some of this. I seriously doubt it's going to stop all of this, but maybe it'll help. We'll do a comparison later. And no filter number 3. Let's take a look at this one. This is over on top of my milling machine, so I'll back up so you can get an idea. That's over where I sit, on top of the milling machine. There's the grinder, and number 1 and number 3 looks like, what do we got here? Let me take this down so we can get a better look at it. Do we have any speckling at all? Not much. I could see a little bit, but the camera's just not picking it up, but there is just a tiny bit there. So it looks like it had not floated to this side of the room yet. But with enough knives, I'm confident that this would be black as well. We're all set up for round 2. This is going to be with the filter. We're going to put it on high, so 3 clicks on the green button should get us to high. Got 1, 2, and 3. That's on its highest setting, and again, this is a small filter, but we're going to put it through its paces and see what it can handle. Alright, we've ground down to the line again. This is the filtered one. Throw that aside, let's start our timer. Here we go, 10 minutes. And we're going. Alright guys, timer's up. I'll turn that off. Let's take a look at the results. The filter has been running the entire time on high. Let's take a look at it really quick. As you can see, here is where we ground it. There is more carbon fiber dust in there, and obviously guys, the more you use, the more effective this is going to be. So if you had a shop vac hooked up to this and not just some slop bucket like I do, that's certainly going to help as well, so keep that in mind. So this is not a magic solution, if you will. So let's take a look at the back of the filter. Zoom in so you can see. You can see it has sucked up a lot of that ammonia burl, and it was white when I bought it. So definitely buy some extra filters. Alright, on to the results. Here is filtered sheet number 1. As you can see, we're still peppered pretty bad. I don't think it's as bad as the first one. I'll put up a picture, the two pictures side by side, so you guys can get a look for yourself. But let's get in nice and close. I don't think it's as bad. Hard to tell, it's a little early yet. Let's go take a look at the other one. And I've been hanging out outside, waiting for that 10 minutes to pass up. Let's see. Here's paper number 2. I'll put the shadow on it. I'm not seeing much of anything, fellas. We'll take a picture and zoom in and see if we can spot anything here. Let's see, there's the writing. Maybe a couple little specks here or there, but I'm really not seeing much of anything. A couple of little dirty spots. That's about it. Which is good, which means it's keeping it at least out from the cleaner area. Not perfect, but it's sucking up something, that's for sure. And let's check this one out as well. Let's see if we captured anything on this. Same thing, I'll do the shadow. There's a speck here, a speck there. It looks like it's got a tiny, tiny little bit on it. See, there's some speckling here or there. Not much. So I'm going to have to look at the pictures side by side, and then I'll come back to you on camera with a conclusion and see who the definite winner was, a filter or no filter. Well guys, I've looked at the footage, I've looked at the pictures and compared them side by side, which I'll do right now. I'll pop them on the screen and I'll give you a second to look at them and review it for yourself of what spot number 1 no filter and spot number 1 filter look like side by side. And I'll do the same with number 2 and also with number 3. As you can see here, 2 and 3 really didn't make all that much of a difference, but I think filter number 1 and no filter number 1 make it clear as day what the winner is. Now when you're making knives, you're in a shop like this, whether you're a woodworker, you're working carbon fiber like this with toxic materials, or metal, anything, any kind of airborne dust that's bad for your health and bad for the electronics and everything in the shop. It's a never-ending battle against the dust. So it is in our best interest to do whatever we can to help mitigate the risk of the dust being airborne, and of course add some well-ventilated areas. As you can see right now, I have my door is wide open. I got a fan going now that the test is over. Just any little thing I can do to help, and of course add in a shop vac, a dust collection system, maybe like one of those cyclone buckets, and it's really going to cut it back. Now, the big question is, are any of those methods good enough to go without one of these? No, absolutely not. Wear your respirator. I don't care if you have the best dust collection system in the world. There are many, many reports about, especially carbon fiber, and G10 is horrible too. I'm guilty of it myself, but after seeing what it does to electronics and talking to my father, the environmental engineer, I'm wearing my mask now. No way I'm grinding without it. Alright? So, hopefully that helped. Again guys, this is the GO738 hanging air filter. And the nice thing about it is, you would think it's terribly loud. It is about as loud as one of those little window fans. Right? Like this fan is way louder than that thing. I mean, especially when it's on low. It's on high right now, and you guys are about 2 feet away. The weight, I built this shop myself, and it's just hanging from these thin little chains that are provided with it, and it's fine. It also has these rubber feet if you just want to lay it on a bench, put it right next to your grinder or something like that. And of course, it runs a small 15 amp circuit, so it's not sucking up a lot of juice. I haven't blown the breaker yet or anything like that. You know, when the compressor kicks on and this thing's going, it doesn't seem to mind it. So that's it guys. Stock up on those extra filters. I'm gonna have to get a few myself. And obviously if you have a bigger shop, you might be interested in a bigger model. And of course guys, Let me flip you around. You know me. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. I'll tell you what works, I'll tell you what doesn't work, and this right here, the Grizzly, it works.